What's up, everybody? Back here, we're in the new shop. Got the Kubota and the Bobcat in here, fixing to service it. Just a little view around the shop. A nice office, bathroom, with the fridge. Right here, we're gonna be servicing the dually today. Up underneath of there, back in there, there's two fast fuel filters in there. It's on the lift pump, has an extra lift pump giving more fuel. And then we have another one right down in here. You can't really see, but we're going to replace all three of the fuel filters, change the oil, check the brakes. The Bobcat, we're going to be servicing it, oil change, greasing everything, kind of just checking it over. We got a couple 100 hours on it. The Kubota, it's ready for its first service, so we're going to fix to service it, change the oil, grease everything, whatnot. And yeah, got to put a battery in the four-wheeler too, but that's once later on this weekend, I guess. But let me show you the backyard here. It's a little bright. So here's the yard. Got the dual tandem back here. Our other gooseneck. Went ahead and laid out some rock and whatnot. It's a lease machine there. So yeah, it's pretty cool around here. We finally got a big shop and an office with the yard out back. Can't beat that for sure. Definitely need that. So alright, well, I'll show y'all what we got going on here in a minute. Up underneath there when we get to the fuel filters. Stay tuned. Alright, so right here we got all of our filters. This one right here, this is the filter, the fuel filter for the truck itself. It sits up by the cylinder head right on the side there. This is the oil filter. This filter right here is the primary fuel filter for the fast fuel system that's on it. And this is a water separator filter. But keep these two go in the back there, underneath. This one goes up by the cylinder head and the oil there. Just using the Napa Gold filters, they work good. I replace these two every 6 months, and this one right here every 3 months. So keep good clean fuel in there, keeps you from having to replace injectors, which is absolutely outrageous on this truck. So alright, so here's our two filters right here. This is our primary, this is our water separator. It's kind of hard to see, but so this is a fast fuel system. It is a inline pump that basically gives a positive pressure to the motor. You normally a truck like this would pull the fuel out with a vacuum up to the engine, but on this one, we put this on, it just helps us get a little more fuel, a little cleaner fuel, and just seems to make everything run a little bit better. So what we're going to do is unscrew this one and that one and go ahead, clean everything up, and replace it. Alright, so just undo it. Still going to be coming out. Go ahead and drain your filter out, turn it upside down, let all that fuel get out of there. Okay, so you can see, still got fuel coming out, but it's okay. And then go ahead and stick your new one right back on there. It's alright if it's still leaking, it'll stop once it all tightens up, and wipe everything back down. What I like to do is once everything's on and cleaned up, I like to go ahead and put the date and the mileage with the permanent marker on the filter. That just helps you remember when you changed it last. Or a little bit over on this one, but that's okay. We change them so regularly that everything stays nice and clean. So, alright, so the primary done. Go go ahead and move to the water separator. Roll wrench, put the right one on it. Boy, that booger was on there. I'll tell you what. Same thing here. I'm not gonna wait as long because I got a lot of stuff to service today. So let's go ahead and pop this off and let that water drain out. Clean your hands off right there. Get your new fuel filter. Move up just a hair, pop her on there. So as you can see, we've got our two new filters on. Put them in here, wipe everything up. Everything's nice and dry and clean. And get a marker and come in here and mark the date. So that's that. So right here is the truck's, if you can see it, this is the truck's main fuel filter. This is what comes on the truck from the factory. We added those other two filters back there just to help give it a little more pressure and to clean the fuel. So this one's dirty right now, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and take some of this brake clean and spray it all off. If you've never used brake clean, get you some. Spray it on stuff like that, melts away all the grease and grime, and then it dries fast. When you're in a shop, you'll go through a ton of brake clean. Most of the time, the shop owners get pissed. So, alright, so we're gonna let that dry off right quick. Right here, that little round deal right there, that is a primer. So once we get this filter changed out, everything tightened back up, we'll pump that primer until it gets super hard before we start the vehicle. Otherwise you get a bunch of air in the system and you could be out here forever fighting to get this thing going. So let all that dry off and then we'll go ahead. That filter just twists off. Below it there is a, you can see a little line right below the X on the side of the filter. There's a little line with a connector down there. We need to unhook that connector. That is a sensor that tells you if there's water in the fuel. That unscrews from the bottom of that filter, and you put the sensor on the new filter and then put it back up in there. So I'll show you all on this other one. So right here's the filter. If you look on the bottom, there's a big hole in the bottom. That's where the water sensor goes. Put it up in there. And this screws up into the bottom of the bracket. So it's gonna be hard to take this, so y'all stay tuned. I'll show you when I'm done. Alright, so we got the filter out. Here it is. So you can see what I'm talking about, that sensor there. So basically this sensor unscrews from the bottom of this filter. Okay, so there it is. Alright, now if you'll notice, right here on the sensor is an O-ring. Got to get that O-ring off. Put that new little one on. The bigger one goes on top of the new filter and then it goes back up in there. So there's a couple ways of doing it. Sometimes, just like I'm doing here, you can get your fingers underneath of it. Just roll it off. Take the new one. Get it put on there. Like so. And roll it on. Press all the way around it. Seated. Good. So flip your new filter over. Take your new sensor and screw it on in. This is for a Duramax 6.6 Duramax. Alright, twist it up. You're ready on that end. Take your big O-ring, put it on. You're ready from this end. Boom. Go twist it up in there, tighten it all down. Hook that little connector up, and then prime away. I'll show you how we prime it up. Alright, so we got our filters on. Here's a little better light. You can see the filter right there, and then that surround deal right here. This is the primer. So I'll show you how to prime up the fuel system on this truck. This is on all Duramaxes. This is as far back as I can remember. Just like this. So what you want to do, come in here and just pump on it. So right now it's going to be real easy to press on it. What this is doing is pulling fuel through all those filters we just changed. Switch hands here. It's already filling up. Wow, that was fast. Alright, so it's nice and tight right now. Alright, so what you want to do is let it sit for just a minute, at least I do. And then we'll go ahead and get this air cleaner tube put back on, pump it up again. If there's any, any cushion in there, we can push it down, get all the air pushed out, pull that fuel in there, and then we'll fire it up. So give me just a minute. I'll go ahead and get the filter tube on and we'll prime it again. Alright, so you'll hear right back here the fuel pumps kick on. Fire it up and just let it idle. You don't need to go revving the piss out of it or any of that. See, she died. So shut the key off. Go back over here. Prime it up again. Alright, so we got it running. We got a little bit of air traffic in there. When I first fired it up, the transfer pump didn't kick on right away. There's some little air in there, but just keep turning the key, get the transfer pump to fill up. Go up there, pump on your primer, start it, it'll start, run for a minute and die. So, just keep working with it. Duramax parts are bad, the Ford will kick your ass. You don't want to let them out on it. So, everything's running good, we're going to let it warm up, change the oil. Stay tuned.